Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe, and today we're taking a look at the Batman Unlimited Batman, or as Chapman Films would say, the shiny ass Batman. And I know I've said on my channel a couple times, and even some of my other YouTube friends' posts, that I'm probably not going to get this. It's a shiny Batman, it's not really comic book accurate, blah blah blah. Well, here he is in my hands, and the more I've been picking him up in the stores, the more the character's really starting to grow on me. And he's not that far from his comic book accurate costume. Matter of fact, it is, very, very close. It's just a little bit shiny, and I'll get into the reasons why I bought the figure once we get him out of package. Excuse me, as I'm trying to get over this cough and nasaliness, so hopefully it's not going to bother you too much. Just coming back from Chicago, still my wife and I must have caught something at the exact same time, so yada yada yada, we'll get through it. A lot of people say it, I've said this on my channel numerous times, I just love the packaging that Mattel has done for their unlimited figures. And this kind of goes back to the Batman Legacy package, which is basically just a mirror image of itself. The side here that slides down where the artwork was on this side, so they just kind of flip-flopped how it was. But this bright orange, red, and a little bit of yellow that's in here just really makes this pop on the store shelves. And I think sometimes in a lot of our reviews on YouTube, sometimes, we'll kind of gloss over the packaging, but I think Mattel did a stellar job of the packaging. And I keep telling myself one of these times I'm just going to get one of these figures and I'm going to leave it in its package, because I think the package is something to collect in and of its own. I know there's people that are mint on card collectors, and I think this will be very cool to keep something like this mint on card. So it's all the standard packaging up to this point for the 2013 line of the Unlimited, be it the Batman line or the DC Comics line. Being a Batman fan, I'm glad that there's a Batman Unlimited line and then a DC Comics Unlimited line. You would have thought Mattel just would have done just an overall DC Comics Unlimited line, but we're getting some more mileage out of some Batman characters, and then kind of gives them two lines at one time that they can kind of focus on different heroes and not go, okay, well, we can't do a whole bunch of Batman in our DC Comics, so we have other heroes to do. Now this way they can. The artwork here is depicted from the Dark Knight New 52 issue number 1, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't use the Batman or Detective Comics logo, but they are using the Greg Capullo artwork for the Batman and Scott Snyder Batman run. I like this Batman logo. I think it's going to become a classic logo as the years go on. Of course, this is the Batman figure, as it says there, in the New 52 DC Comics logo. And the read-up is exactly the same from the All-Star Batman, but for those of you that missed it the last time, we'll read it here real quick. It says, as a young boy, Bruce Wayne saw his parents fall victim to a senseless crime. His focused purpose became to avenge their deaths by fighting Gotham City's criminal element as Batman. The people of Gotham see Batman as almost mythical, able to tame any adversary, no matter how powerful. To thwart crime, he relies on his awesome deductive powers, which powers is always loosely used for Batman, but, we'll have it. Sheer physical speed, an assortment of high-tech weaponry, and unique crime-fighting aids. The other figures from this line, which I have already currently reviewed, are Batgirl and Penguin, basically the superpowers Penguin, the other New 52 Batgirl, which I love both of these figures. Real name Bruce Wayne, occupation CEO and crime fighter. Location, of course, Gotham City. Powers, abilities, and skills: martial arts expert, master detective, vast arsenal of weapons and gadgets. And then there's the artwork there from the front cover of issue #1 of Batman The Dark Knight. So what we'll do, as we always do here, more recently on Rob's Rogues, we will pause the camera real quick. We'll give me a chance to take a little drink of a beverage, and we'll get shiny Batman out of his package, and we will look at and compare him with his predecessor that came almost a year before. So hold on, guys. We will be right back. And here is shiny ass Batman, as Chapman Films would say. New 52 Batman out of package, and something I do want to say, I have seen some people review some figures recently, and on some of the message boards and Facebook pages that I'm on, I'll see people talk about some of the figures being broken, or they'll have 2 right hands or 2 left hands or something crazy. As far as Mattel and most manufacturers, you can find product information. We'll slide Batman out of the way here real quick. Product information on the bottom of your boxes or the back part of the card, but generally it's going to be on the bottom. And especially with Mattel, that you'll see in just a minute, I had to call Mattel and get a replacement or a voucher that they will send you. And they will generally want to know the problem of your figure and what is wrong with it, where you bought it, how much you spent, and then they're going to want some information off the card. And to get a hold of Mattel, let's see if we can find it here. It's always right there. Let's see if we can zoom in. Let's turn this one light off here. There is the Mattel number, 1-800-524-8697. And that's information. You'll call them, you'll go through a whole prompt, and when you finally get to talk to somebody, you'll say, hey, my Batman, in particular, the one you'll see in just a little bit, had very rubbery legs, and the knee socket pin kept coming out, and they'll say, oh, we're very sorry about that. Can we get some product information off your box? And what they will want is this series right here that you see on this particular box. This is going to be some stamping information that they'll want. And I don't know if the camera could pick it up, but there is right here. See this whole line that is stamped in right here? This is the stamp number for this particular Batman. And they will want, this is for the month, the year, somehow how they have it figured out, their product information. So those are the few things that they will want off of the product. Depending on how new or old the figure is, sometimes old, they may not do a whole lot. But if you say, hey, I just bought it in the store and I've got the receipt right here, coming off of eBay really doesn't work that well at all. But they will, if they have them in-house, they will replace the figure for you. They'll generally say, well, we're sorry that you had that experience. You can keep your broken figure, and we will send you a new one. Or they will send you a voucher. I know when I got my All-Star Batman, he was still very new, and they didn't have any in-house. So they sent me a voucher for the price of the figure that I paid. So I haven't said that in a while on my channel. I've got some new subscribers, and that usually goes for DC Collectibles. That goes for any of your Marvel figures through Hasbro, anything. I always recommend calling the company, and 9 times out of 10 they will make it right. So enough of that kind of blathering. Let's take a look at shiny Batman, and he is shiny. All the different light sources that I have currently on at the moment, as you see, I just turned another one on. He is very reflective, and it is something that I was like, I didn't know if I wanted this initially, but this figure is really growing on me. Is almost identical to this figure right here. This is for the All-Star Batman, one of the last official DC Universe Classic figures that came out, and I very much like this Batman. I love the color scheme, but as I had mentioned, this Batman right here, the pin in this leg would come out. You could see how far it is recessed in his leg, and when I got it, you can even see right here that this leg will just bend like crazy. And for a while he wasn't wanting to stand up. I was having to put him in a freezer and get his legs all, warmed back up, and then freeze them, cool them down. He can finally stand on his own, but his head is very wobbly. Very poor quality control on this Batman. I love the look of this Batman. I love the color scheme of this Batman. But even just kind of shaking him here, his head is just very, very loose. He's been one of my favorite Batmans for quite a while from Mattel, right next to the Young Justice Batman. But I thought, man, if they ever re-release this figure, I would like to get another one of him, just because I'm afraid this guy is eventually going to break or that leg is going to snap off. I'm not going to be able to get that pin in. And then they released this Batman and kind of gave him the real glossy cape and the extra shiny suit and brightened up the suit a little bit. And at first I was like, man, that's just really kind of dumb. I didn't like it at first, but the more reviews that I would see from people from Electric Detonator and Chapman Films and Automatica, and I believe ODC That's Me has reviewed this figure, the more I started looking at it and going, I think I really do like the figure. I'm not necessarily a fan of the overly shiny cape. I like the more of the flat black cape, but as I started noticing, if something were ever to happen to this Batman, so I have a hair that keeps popping up, you know, he does have the shiny boots, the All-Star Batman does, shiny boots, shiny gloves. He's got this nice flat black cape, and I think it works. If something ever happened to this Batman that he totally broke apart, and if I ever came across another one of these Batmans, I might do a custom and take off the flat black cape and the flat head and put on this Batman. But the more I'm looking at this Batman, I'm really, really digging him. I really like him in this color scheme. The other thing I like about this Batman is all of his joints are nice and tight, and stiff's not really the word I want to use, but the legs move really well, and this knee is nice and tight. It's not wobbly, doesn't feel like it's going to fall on me. The ankles are also very stiff as well, and not to the point where I feel like I'm going to break the figure, but I feel like he is going to stand on his own. I don't have to worry about him propping up and falling over. Sometimes I have to worry about that with this Batman, but you know, it's okay. He's been doing the job for a while. So we've already got a repaint in the line. There was some extra shading in this cape. The camera could pick it up here. Kind of goes down to some dark blacks, almost to some grays and blues. But with this Batman being completely shiny, it's just a shiny gloss finish all the way around. At first I didn't think I was going to like it, but again, I do. I like the way it's folded back here. So I think this is a really cool looking Batman, and people have said, you know, Rob, go grab him. I think when you do, you'll find out that you will really like having this Batman. And something I said in my Robin series I just finished, that Mattel is going to be releasing a Damian in the New 52 for Mattel, for probably under the Batman Unlimited line. And I said, well, right now this particular Batman is up on my top shelf with my Justice League figures. And I said, if they get a Damian, or when we get Damian, I would like to get him and put him with a New 52 Batman, which means I either have to bring this Batman down off the shelf and put him with my Batman family, or move Damian up, or possibly get another Batman, which is another reason why I got this, so when Damian does come out, I can have a New 52 Batman with the Justice League and a New 52 Batman with Damian. So I'm kind of deciding which of the two Batman I will have Damian Robin with. I'm kind of thinking I might have him with this shiny Batman, but I might go this way. It's going to kind of depend. I think right now this Batman's going to go back up with the Justice League. I still don't quite know yet. The Damian that we're going to get is going to be using the body buck of this Robin, last that I heard, good chunks of it. So this Robin does have, you know, extra bulky arms. You know, he won't have this head, but this general young style of body, as you can kind of see here, as Batman falls over, you know, what Robin will look like standing next to Batman. So that's going to be the approximate height for Robin and Batman. So pulling this guy off, this has been one of my other favorite Batmans, is the Young Justice Batman. He's kind of supporting some shinier aspects, and this has been a favorite of mine for quite a while, but I gotta tell you, the Mattel New 52 Batman is really starting to grow on me. I'm really liking it a lot. You know, both versions, obviously. And then kind of getting to compare New 52 to New 52, something that I really liked is the, I punched the camera there, sorry, is the shininess of the gauntlets and the gloves and even the boots of the Justice League Batman and the head, which made me think, well, if I like the shiny aspect of that, I think I would probably like the shiny aspect of the Mattel version. So that was, you know, another factor in it. And they had just recently put them up in the Kmart I was shopping at, and had a little bit extra money. Kind of looked at the wife, and she's like, oh, go ahead and pick them up. You know, I know you've been kind of wanting an extra Batman, so that was another big reason to pick him up. We kind of had the funds to do so. So this has been a look at the DC Comics, the Batman Unlimited Batman from the New 52, or some people refer to him as shiny ass Batman. But I definitely think it's a good Batman to have if you missed out on this Batman, which I still think might be my favorite mold so far, version of this Batman. This one would be an easily good replacement, and I think of all the problems that this Batman had, that every review that I've seen anybody review him on, they've got loose heads, knees, ankle articulation, that Mattel got that all straightened out for this Batman. My only big gripe is where they put this white stamp. I don't get it. Why are you putting it visibly on some of the figures? The All-Star Batman does have it, but he has it on the bottom of his foot. So I think this is going to be permanent marker time here to get that off. My only real big gripe with the figure, but I think it does work. I do have one little paint blemish. There were 4 of these on the shelves, and there was either a scuff on the bat symbol, or that looked like somebody took a screwdriver to Batman's crotch and there were marks all over Batman's crotch. So this was the cleanest of the 4 that were on the shelf, and again, I think a little black Sharpie will fill that in and won't be hardly noticeable. But from farther back, you don't quite notice it very much at all. So this is a figure I wasn't entirely sure I was wanting to get, but knowing that we're going to be getting a Damian, and I've kind of got a Justice League shelf going, and then a Batman timeline, I thought, you know what, I would like to pick up another Batman. And if you missed, again, the All-Star Batman from the second All-Star and the last official DC UC wave, this DC, I keep saying DC Comics, this Batman Unlimited Batman New 52 will be a very good placeholder for that. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.